What a week. What a week. All I got to say is we've made it through what seems like the recent rough patches, and I'm super excited to be able to say that. So today we're just going to talk about the market in general, what's happening. I'm going to also talk about a way that I am making money regardless of bear, bull, bison, buffalo, whatever you might want to pick. I'm going to show you a way that I'm making money regardless, even through some of these swings over the past couple days. I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell button so you're notified as soon as these videos are released. Make sure you're checking out the other social media pages. We have X, Instagram, as well as TikTok. Definitely recommend following those. A lot of times I post some of the things I'm looking at, some of the projects. For example, I first talked about ZBCN on there. I first talked about Collat on there. I first talked about Lingang on there. There's multiple other plays that I've done, multiple X's that I talk about on my social media pages. So you want to make sure you're following those. I don't always do a long form content for those projects. So let's get straight into it, man. What a hell of a weekend last week it's been. All this stuff going on with Israel as well as Iran. So definitely happy to hear that a ceasefire is supposedly being worked on, but regardless, that is great for the markets. And it's just been really interesting to see how the markets have played out over the past week. There's been a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear. I've literally seen people talking about they're quitting crypto, all these crazy headlines in the news. And with that, I really just want to instill this. Make sure you have a plan. I just can't stress this enough. You have to have a plan. You have to have a system. You have to have things that work for you regardless of the circumstances. So once again, I'm going to be showing a way I set something up, one of my systems, to be able to earn me passive income every single day, regardless of what's happening. And then I'm also able to build up my blue chip bag, which is my main mission right now. So I feel like that's the thing. That's what I want you to take away from this video. Aside from everything else I cover, make sure that you have a mission and make sure you are sticking to it. Make sure you're identifying a handful of assets that you truly believe in, and then those are the ones that you are accumulating regardless of the price. And obviously this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you when to buy, when to sell, but if it's something that you truly believe in, yes, the value is going to go down at some point, but what is the intrinsic value? What do you think that future value will be? You have to think long term and not always short term. What's the price going to be in a week, 2 weeks? It really doesn't matter if that's an asset that you plan to hold for multiple months, up to a year, 2 years, maybe 5+ years. It doesn't really matter what the price is going to do in 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you have a plan as well as a system. Now we can go through here and we can see that we have some, I don't want to say a pump, but any green right now I will take. Bitcoin at 105K, which is good. So we know that it dropped all the way down to 98K and now has rebounded pretty significantly today based off of the news of the ceasefire. Ethereum's back at 2,400. Or I guess I don't even like saying back at it. Solana's at 143. Hyperliquid's at 37. AVAX to 1810. And then, you can kind of pick your favorite one that you want to here. But for me specifically, I am focused on accumulating blue chip assets as much as possible, DCAing in. Like, there was some great DCA opportunities over the past couple of days, so definitely took advantage of that. Waited to put any kind of fiat into the system until I saw a bottom. So once I saw the sentiment change a little bit at that 98, 99 and it started moving back up, I'd made a couple buys there. So you just have to learn how to time that stuff as well, and just know that everyone else is scared, but if you are a sound investor and believe in what you invest in, then it's easy for you to hit that button. But we can see things have improved for the market. Hopefully we can see things get back to their real prices of when we were around all-time highs of Bitcoin, and Solana was $200+, and I remember AVAX was like 130 or something. I would love to see 130 AVAX. That would be amazing. But let's talk about this system, right? This is Bitcoin here. We can look at the chart. This is just 1 hour. So we can see it's pumped up 100 to 105 here. So I think the next, that's kind of a close resistance. I wouldn't even say that. So I would say somewhere around, this is definitely one here. So around 103K is going to be here, just because this change, this was a sentiment change here. So yeah, I think probably 103 is resistance. So I think if we can hover above that and there's not any kind of bad news or anything with the market, that we should be fine. I think we're going to continue to move up. There's been so many positive developments for cryptocurrency. The Genius Act, I'm pretty sure I saw, well, I know I saw because I posted something about it today, that the Fed is less restrictive on some of the things when it comes to cryptocurrency and what banks can do. That's huge. And there's possible talks of there being a Fed rate cut in July. So that would be massive for the market. Obviously, some more liquidity would be great for everybody. So we'll see if that actually happens. It seemed like more recently that's become a possibility based off inflation and where it's at. So definitely keep an eye on that. And let's talk about what I was doing to, I won't even say hedge, but let's get over here. All right, let's see, 1 second. This is what I talk about having a system. You have to have something that you can do. So you have to have something that you can do that's going to allow you to make money and allow you to be able to accumulate assets that you believe are going to be valuable in the future at low prices. So this is Orca, and I'm not going to go completely into this because one, I'm actually working on a course to where I'm going to be giving people my different strategies, all the knowledge that I have gained over 6 years of being in cryptocurrency, coming from a straight degen, literally watching videos about crypto for dummies, to where I'm at now. And I'm definitely not at any kind of point of mastery, but I feel like I'm definitely ahead of the pack when it comes to my experience, and my mindset has been able to change from short term to long term, which is a big thing. It's like a mental hurdle to actually be able to make that transition mindset wise. So definitely that's what I want to push people towards, is that long set. Like, we can hold on to our crypto and still make money. So I'm really going to be teaching that in my course. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be picking probably 5 to 10 people to start with, and we're going to be working on mindset, some of these different positions that you can get into to build passive income every single day. We're going to talk about lending, how you can lend some of your assets to still be exposed to the long-term exposure for price increases, as well as use that as collateral to take a loan out against as well. So there's so many different things. Like, we're at a different level here, and we're going to take it to an even higher level, because when I look at things like this, right, we're looking at Orca. Now, this is a liquidity pool. So I'm providing liquidity to SPX 6900. That is a meme coin. If you don't know about it, I don't know where you've been, definitely go check it out. And USDC. So this is liquidity pairs. So we have SPX and USDC. So what happens is, this is a concentrated liquidity management system. And it sounds super complicated, right? But it's really not. You are picking a price range for an asset. So for example, in this one, I picked in between $1 and $2 for SPX. I think that is a very wide range. We saw it dip under 98, and then we haven't seen it go above 2, but I definitely think it's going to kind of stay in that range for a little bit. That's a very wide range for price and market cap. So I definitely think it's going to stay in that range. So every second that SPX's price is in this range, I'm earning trading fees, because providing liquidity and other liquidity providers allow trades to happen. If there was no liquidity, you couldn't trade, or if there was very low liquidity, you wouldn't be able to buy a big amount without affecting the price severely. So if you ever think about it, new coins that don't have a lot of liquidity, you can't buy much of without major price impact. So more liquidity makes it a more sound trading experience, I'll say. But as you can see here, I have $3,500 worth of LP here, and I'm earning, on average, this is on average, I think it's kind of closer to probably just 1%. But regardless, that's ridiculous. I'm earning 1% a day off of SPX, which is, I think, a major meme coin that's going to be here to stay. USDC, it's a stable coin, so that's going to stay around $1. And we're earning around 1% a day. And this is about 2 days, 2.5 days, 3 days worth of rewards. It went up just because there was a little bit of pump in the market, so it went up, and there's some different ways that it fluctuates. But as you can see here, $3,500, $46 in yield every 24 hours, and I currently have about 2 days worth of rewards. And it's really cool because even if you come here, it gives you all your breakdown for your position. It tells you what is the balance of your liquidity, because it's not always going to be 50-50. It's going to shift based on the price of the asset. So as SPX goes down in price, my liquidity pair has more SPX. As SPX goes up in price, my liquidity pair that I provided has less SPX, because it is going to always be heavier on the side of the asset. For example, as SPX is increasing in price, it's going to be lower in that LP pair in terms of the balance. And then as it goes up in price, as it goes down in price, it's going to be a higher portion of that LP, because it is going down in price. And USDC is always going to stay at $1, so it's always going to have to balance itself back up. So that's what LPs do. So there is impermanent loss, so you have to make sure you understand that, which is just where you would have made more if you would have held the tokens separately versus it fluctuating in price. So this is something that seems very complicated when you really try to break it down, but this is something that is very easy once you understand it and understand what you need to look for. And this has been a play that I've been in for probably about a week now. So you can imagine I'm able to take my SPX rewards, because with this LP as well, I get the rewards in both tokens. So I get SPX tokens as well as USDC. So I can take that USDC and I can buy any asset I want to. So imagine being able to take, and it's not a lot, right? But $45 worth of USDC right now, and I could buy the dip, which is pumped a little bit, but it's still kind of a dip. I could buy the dip. I could buy a couple AVAX. I could buy maybe a quarter of Solana, a little bit of Bitcoin, build it up like each day. There's so many different strategies you can have, but then I have the SPX portion of my rewards, which I can just sell and turn that to USDC. I can hold on to it because I think XPX is going to increase in value. There's so many different options here. And that's what I really like about it, is regardless of what the market's doing. Now, of course, if there's a major correction, then we're not probably going to be making money because it's going to be outside of our price range. Like if XPX was to go down to 50 cents, which would be crazy, then we wouldn't be making fees off of that. We would have to readjust our range, which once again, I explain all this stuff in the course. I know it seems like a lot right now, and if you've never done it before, it seems like a lot, but I'm literally going to take the time to break down every single step of these systems I have in place, because if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And these are ways to set yourself up for long-term success versus just trying to flip meme coins and things like that, which some people do a great job and they're just lucky. That is what it is. You're lucky, or you have an insider when it comes to meme coins if you're constantly hitting. And shout out to them. I'm never that kind of person that's going to hate on anybody's success, but that's not feasible for everybody, and that's not going to work for everybody. And a lot of people are going to come in, have that experience, get wrecked, and be done with crypto. So I'm trying to make it more sustainable for people and show them exactly how you can actually use this and leverage this to make money. So really just wanted to talk a little bit about one method I am currently using that's going to allow me to build my meme coin bag, my stable bag, my blue chip bag, and those are all things that I want to do, and probably in that order, descending, because I always want to build my blue chips first, then my stables, and then maybe meme coins if it's something I really feel like it's going to run. So with that, hopefully this was educational for you. Once again, I do have a course coming. I'm going to have a lot more information on that, so stay tuned if you are interested. Make sure you check out the other social media pages. Once again, I post a lot of early stuff on those, so you want to definitely make sure that you're following SCrypto101 on X, Instagram, as well as TikTok. And then I just appreciate you taking the time to spend some time here with me, look at some of the charts, talk about the ways that we're going to make this sustainable, and also talking about the ways that we are going to change our future. And as always, build our bags. Have a great one.